Morning students. Okay, today we will discuss about different types of steam turbines. Okay, generally we are using two different types of steam turbines. Okay, one is impulse turbine and second one is reaction turbine. Okay, what is the difference between these two is, okay, in case of impulse turbine there is no pressure change during the flow of steam between the stages, and in case of reaction turbine there is a pressure change during the flow of steam, okay, between the stages. Okay, in case of impulse turbine, okay, steam coming out through a fixed nozzle. Okay, see here we are using the fixed nozzles at a very high velocity, strikes the blades fixed on the periphery of your rotor. Okay, on the rotor periphery we are fixing the number of blades. Okay, the blades change the direction of steam flow without changing its pressure. Okay, we are keeping the pressure constant in case of impulse turbine. Okay, the force due to change of momentum causes the rotation of the turbine shaft. Okay, ultimately, we have to receive some power output from the impulse turbine, okay, by means of a rotating rotating speed of the shaft. Okay, on the periphery of the turbine wheel, okay, we are arranging the number of fixed nozzles. Through the fixed nozzles, we are introducing the steam, and after passing the steam through the nozzles, okay, high velocity jet of steam strikes the rotating wheel, okay, that is impulse turbine. On the shaft we are mounting that impulse turbine. Then, okay, the shaft power or rotating power of shaft we are receiving from the impulse turbine. Okay, that rotating power of shaft we are using in our applications. Okay, in case of reaction turbine, say the working. Okay, in reaction turbine, steam expands both in fixed and moving blades. That is the difference between impulse turbine and reaction turbine. In case of reaction turbines, we are using the fixed and moving blades. In case of impulse turbine, only we are using fixed nozzles and the moving blades. Moving blades and nozzles in case of impulse turbine, and in case of reaction turbine, we are using the fixed nozzles and fixed and moving blades. We are not using the nozzles in the reaction turbine. Only we are using the fixed blades and moving blades. Okay, during the flow of steam through the fixed blades and moving blades, okay, the energy conservation takes place, and it transfers to the shaft of the turbine. Okay, continuously as the steam passes over them, the pressure drop occurs continuously. Okay, see here the pressure drop occurs continuously over the fixed and moving blades. Okay, and during the flow of steam, reaction force produces. Okay, with the help of that reaction force, okay, that turbine is rotating on the shaft. Okay, the shaft will use the some work output. Okay. See the mechanical details of impulse turbine. Okay, this is the schematic layout of impulse turbine. Okay, first we are receiving the generated steam from the steam boiler. Okay, generally we are using different types of boilers. Okay, that type of boilers are producing the steam. Okay, that generated steam we are receiving from the steam boiler section, and we are introducing into the nozzle body. Okay, this is the cut section of the nozzle. Okay, through the nozzle we are made to introduce the steam, and that steam strikes the rotating wheel of the turbine, and on the periphery of the turbine we are arranging the number of blades. Okay, on the periphery of the turbine we are arranging the number of blades. Okay, during the flow of steam through the nozzle, okay, it strikes the blades of the turbine, and the turbine wheel. That the wheel is rotating on the shaft, and it is mounting on the shaft. From the shaft we are receiving the power output. Okay, with the help of that power output, okay, we are using in our applications. Okay, see, okay, in primary it consists of a nozzle. Impulse turbine consists of a nozzle or set of nozzles based on our requirements. We may use 2 nozzles, 3 nozzles, 4 nozzles, okay, 6 or 8 nozzles also based on our requirement of shaft power. Okay, a rotor mounted on a shaft, and one set of moving blades attached to the rotor. Okay, these are the mechanical details of the impulse turbine. Okay, that means Okay, that rotating wheel is called, I am calling as a rotor. On the periphery of the rotor, we are arranging the one set of moving blades, and if the steam is flowing through the nozzle, okay, high velocity steam strikes the set of blades which are mounted on the rotor periphery. Okay, a simple impulse turbine is also called de-Laval turbine. Sometimes in examination also, mentioned, explain the working principle of de-Laval turbine, explain the mechanical details of de-Laval turbine instead of impulse turbine. Okay, we are also calling that impulse turbine as de-Laval turbine. Okay, this turbine is called simple impulse turbine since the expansion of the steam takes place in one set of nozzles. Okay, in one set of nozzles, expansion takes place. Okay, during the expansion, the pressure energy is converting into kinetic energy. Okay, in impulse turbine, steam coming out through a fixed nozzle at a very high velocity strikes the blades fixed on the periphery of a rotor. Okay, during the striking process, the rotor is rotating on the shaft, and that shaft power we are receiving, and we are expecting that shaft power in order to convert that into mechanical work or for generating the electrical energy. Okay, the blades change the direction of steam flow without changing its pressure. Okay, that fixed blades, moving blades are changing the direction of steam without changing its pressure. The force due to change of momentum causes the rotation of the turbine shaft. Here we are changing the momentum by keeping the pressure constant, and by arranging the number of blades on the periphery of the rotor, and by arranging the number of nozzles, set of nozzles to introduce the high velocity steam jet onto the rotating blades of the rotor. Examples of this type of working principle is we can see in de-Laval turbine, Curtis and Ritter turbines. These are the different types of impulse turbines. All impulse turbines having same principle of working. The impulse turbine consists basically of a rotor mounted on a shaft. We seen in the previous slide also. On the set of bearings, we are arranging the rotor in order to rotate freely on the bearing. These are the mechanical details of the impulse turbine. Later, we need to calculate the efficiency. How much work done is done by the impulse turbine. How much work done we can receive during the introducing of steam or during the flow of steam through the impulse turbine. How much quantity of work output we can get from the turbine. We calculate based on the velocity triangles. The velocity triangles are formed because of the striking of high velocity jet of steam, high velocity steam from the nozzle body to the blade. See here I have taken one blade. That blade rotating direction is this. Like this. On the periphery of the rotor we are arranging the blade. At the inlet of the blade and at the outlet or exit of the blade, we may get one triangle, that is at inlet, that is inlet velocity triangle, and at exit, that is exit velocity triangle. We can call that different velocities. That different velocities are forming after striking the high velocity jet to the blade. If the high velocity jet of steam strikes the rotating blade, then automatically it develops velocity triangle, and that velocity triangle consists of number of velocities. And at exit and inlet also we are having different velocities. See here VR1. VR1 means relative velocity. Relative velocity. VA1 means absolute velocity. Alpha 1 and beta 1 is the angles, and U is the mean velocity, and V1 is the velocity of steam from the nozzle. Velocity of steam from the nozzle. and VW1 is the virial velocity at inlet. These are the different velocities are formed because of the striking of high velocity steam to the rotating blade of the impulse turbine. Okay, that blade, that velocity nomenclature is also I represented here. See, V1 is the absolute velocity of steam at inlet. We are expressing in meter per second. And alpha 1 is the nozzle inlet angle. We are arranging the nozzles, number of nozzles at different angles. Each nozzle makes the different one velocity triangle. Each nozzle makes one velocity triangle. Okay, U is the blade velocity in meter per second. Okay, mean blade velocity U is also we can find pi d n by 60. Based on this equation also we can find blade velocity. Okay, VR1 is relative velocity of steam at inlet in meter per second, and VW1 is the tangential velocity of steam at inlet in meter per second. Okay, VA1 is the axial velocity of steam at inlet. Beta 1 is the blade inlet angle. Beta 2 is the blade outlet angle. And similarly, the exit velocity triangle also having same velocity. Tangential velocity at outlet, virial velocity at outlet, and relative velocity at outlet, and blade angles at inlet and nozzle angles at outlet. Okay, these are the different parameters we have to consider. Different velocities we can see on the velocity triangle. Okay, this velocity triangle is formed based on the striking of steam to the rotating blade of the impulse turbine. Okay, and that rotating blade is mounted on the circumference of the rotor. Okay. See in the next slide, in case of combined velocity triangle, if you draw the combined velocity triangle, that means if you combine the inlet and exit velocity triangle, okay, if you combine this inlet and exit velocity triangle, okay, only the difference is this length, VW1 length will vary. That means virial velocity at inlet increases and mean velocity is at the junction of two velocity triangles. See, this is the inlet velocity triangle. Okay, this is the exit velocity triangle. Okay, this is the exit velocity triangle. Okay, at the exit velocity triangle we can determine the parameters like exit velocity, V2, and exit nozzle angle, and exit blade angle, and exit relative velocity, and exit flow velocity. At inlet also we are having the same velocities. We can determine by using the some relations. Okay, see here we are using VA1 and VA2. These two are equal. VA1 is equal to VA2. We have to consider this relation. VA1 is equal to VA2. Flow velocities are equal, and we can find U mean velocity by means of diameter also and speed of the wheel also, pi dn by 60. In that manner we can calculate the U velocity, mean velocity of the blade. Okay, and beta 1, beta 2, alpha 1, alpha 2, based on the given data we can calculate, and these are not equal. Beta 1 and beta 2 are not equal. Alpha 1 and alpha 2 are not equal. Based on the relation only we can find by applying the trigonometric rules like sin theta, cos theta, tan theta. We can easily find the alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2 values. Okay. While solving the problems also, we have to first draw the combined velocity triangle. Later we have to represent the given velocities on the combined velocity triangle, and later we have to calculate remaining unknown velocities from the velocity triangle by applying the suitable trigonometric rules. Okay. For example, if you know the beta 1 angle and VA1 velocity, if you want to find this length, okay, or if you want to find VR1, okay, we can apply sin theta. Okay, then you can easily calculate VR1. Okay, like that we have to evaluate every velocity on the combined velocity triangle. Then we can easily evaluate unknown velocities. See, you can clearly observe the inlet and exit velocities from the combined velocity triangle also. Okay, this is the inlet velocity triangle. Up to this is the inlet velocity triangle. Okay, I will represent the exit velocity triangle here. Okay, this is the exit velocity triangle. Combined inlet and exit velocity triangle means we have to add that two velocity triangles itself, and because of adding we can easily determine how much quantity of work done by the type of impulse turbine. Okay, by arranging the number of nozzles you can easily determine. Okay, these are the different parameters we have to evaluate. Okay, based on the type of impulse turbine. Okay, see, force in the tangential direction is equal. Okay, how much force we are exerting on the rotating rotor of the impulse turbine, you can easily evaluate based on the rate of change of momentum in the tangential direction. Okay, rate of change of momentum. Momentum means mass into change of velocity, that is the momentum. The mass into change in velocity, that is called momentum. Mass into velocity is momentum. Rate of change of momentum means mass into change of velocity. Okay, the rate of change of momentum with respect to the mass of steam, you can easily evaluate how much force is exerting on the rotating rotor of the impulse turbine. Okay, this may be plus or minus based on the direction of steam flow through the number of stages. We are expressing that force in terms of newtons. Okay, velocity is in terms of meter per second, and mass value in terms of kilogram per second. The next parameter is force in axial direction, means rate of change of momentum in the axial direction. Okay, axial forces are VA1 and VA2. Flow velocities are axial velocities. Mass into rate of change of velocity in the axial direction. Okay, VA1 minus VA2. And work done by steam. Work done by steam on blades. How much quantity of work we can develop by using the type of impulse turbine, we can easily evaluate by force into distance or force into velocity. Tangential force into velocity. Tangential force, how do we determine? Mass into VW1 plus VW2 into tangential velocity is u. Okay, in that manner we can easily evaluate this work done on the blades. Work done on the blades of impulse turbine. Okay, work done by the steam on the blades. Okay, m into VW1 plus VW2 into u. Okay, next, power developed by the turbine. How do we evaluate the power developed by the turbine? Okay, see here, we are expressing in terms of watts. Okay, m into VW1 plus VW2 into u. Okay, see here, if you multiply with mass flow rate, that will give the power. If you are not multiplying with mass flow rate, then that will give the force. Okay, force into mass flow rate. Okay, that will give the power developed by the impulse turbine. Okay, based per second, if you calculate, then that will give the power. Okay, per kilogram, if you calculate, that gives the work done on the impulse turbine. Okay, blade efficiency. Okay, work done on the blades divided by energy supplied to the blades. Work done on the blades divided by energy supplied to the blades will give the blade efficiency. Okay, work done on the blades is U into VW1 plus VW2 is the work done on the blade, and energy supplied to the blade is kinetic energy we are supplying to the blade through the nozzle, that is V1 square by 2. Okay, 2U into VW1 plus VW2 divided by V1 square, that is the blade efficiency. Okay, next, stage efficiency means work done on the blade divided by energy supplied to the blade. Okay, work done on the blade divided by energy supplied to the blade. Work done on the blade is okay m into VW1 plus VW2 into U divided by energy supplied to the blade is okay change of enthalpy. Okay, enthalpy drop during the flow of steam through the nozzle or through the stage. Okay, that is the energy supplied to the blade. Okay, in this manner we can easily evaluate the stage efficiency. Work done on the blade and power developed by the blade and force exerted by the steam and efficiency of the blade and efficiency at the stage. These parameters we have to evaluate with the help of velocity triangle only. These parameters we can easily evaluate. Okay, while solving the problems on these parameters, while calculating these parameters in problems, okay, we have to draw first combined velocity triangle. Later we have to represent the given values on the combined velocity triangle, and based on the given data we have to apply trigonometric rules. Okay, after that we have to evaluate all velocities in the combined velocity triangle. Later you can easily evaluate these 5 different parameters. First you can easily evaluate work done on the blade, you can easily evaluate, and work done by the turbine you can easily evaluate, and power developed by the turbine also you can easily evaluate, and energy supplied to the blade also you can easily evaluate. Once you know the velocities, every velocity is in the combined velocity triangle. Okay, in next class we will see the compounding of the impulse turbine. Okay, thank you.